Well, there's positive news about the Reno Tahoe luxury market based on the globally minded affluent consumer. Hi, I'm Kylie, Rowe, Vice President of Relocation at Dickson Realty. Here with us today is Stephanie Anton, Executive Vice President at Luxury Portfolio. Well, Stephanie, thank you for coming in and joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. So tell us a little bit about your role as Executive Vice President of Luxury Portfolio.
Sure. So I have an opportunity, a really great opportunity to work with brokers in over 60 countries. And, today we have 565 brokers and companies, really just like Dickson that are locally owned and branded but yet well-known and have a lot of market share and all independents. And so I get to travel around and spend a lot of time with entrepreneurs and understanding different markets all around the world. It's a lot of fun.
That sounds like a blast. And in this role, I know that you have traveled all over the world. And at this rate, with all the research and the expertise you have, you know what's going on with wealth. What's been happening with global wealth?
Sure. It's really interesting, honestly. And we've been studying it for about 12 years. Mm-hmm. And we have a research partner that we do this with. And what we know is when you look at affluent people all around the world, they behave very similarly. There are differences regionally, and it just sort of depends on preferences and backgrounds and really where their wealth came from, how long they've had their wealth. But we know that wealthy people are getting wealthier all around the world. I mean, if you look at people that have just $10 million in net worth, the number of those folks that have increased since 2010 by 91%. Around the world. So the wealthy are getting wealthier. And the good news for real estate and really for our brokers and I think for your viewers is that wealthy people love real estate, and on average they own 4 homes in multiple states and multiple countries. So they're very, very globally minded, and they love real estate.
There was something you were talking about earlier about this, what's been changing with how they spend their money or what they want to spend their money on. And
Mm-hmm.
there's something that they're looking for now. What are they searching for when they spend money?
Sure. It's changed a lot over time, and especially if you look between the year 2000 and today, we know that the recession had a very deep impact on affluent consumers. People lost some of their wealth in 2007, 2008, really for the first time, and it changed the way they approach purchasing. And so it's not just about buying things today. Today it's about searching for things that have meaning. And so it's really about creating experiences for their families and their loved ones, and I think it's really a deeper connection, not just stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that, and I think that resonates with a lot of people across age groups and income levels, I would say. Mm-hmm. But this research that you're doing is so fascinating to me, and I know that you are aware of preferences and trends among the affluent buyer and seller. What are some of those things?
Sure. So the good news is that generally people who have significant wealth are very passionate about life, and they love life. And the things they're passionate about, it's where they spend money. So we talk about discretionary purchasing. Right. And discretionary purchasing is really, it's when you choose to have something, not because you need it, not just because you want it. And the way people are spending money today in their discretionary purchasing, it's on travel, it's on dining, and they'll spend any kind of money on dining out. And if you think about the explosion of really nice, expensive restaurants that we've seen truly worldwide, and then it's on real estate. And so sort of the categories where they can have interactive experiences, it's less about jewelry and bags and logoed things and much more about things that they can have, they can share experiences with others.
And when you're talking about the logo thing, I know you were saying that there's this preference to be independent or to stay independent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's actually, it was a nice piece of research for us.
It is a really nice piece of research.
But what we found was that with wealth, the more money somebody has, the more likely they are to select an independent brand. Mm-hmm. And frankly, I mean, at the end of the day, we know that independence stands for creativity and difference, and it's not about being the same, it's about being different. And so we know that, the more money someone has, the more likely they're going to say, I want to work with a local broker. And, frankly, someone like Dickson, who has local expertise but global reach through our program, it's sort of the best of two worlds.
Mm-hmm. I would say so. And, one of the last things that I want to cover while we're here is, what are people looking for in their homes? Are there certain trends or looks that they're wanting when they purchase something?
For sure. And, it's, we're seeing preferences generally for contemporary styles and for, all, like glass, all glass everywhere and white walls. And we see a lot of inspiration and design from, galleries. And you can walk into a gallery, you can walk into a home today and it feels like an art gallery. And so that's definitely something we're seeing around the world. But we're also seeing some fun things like, I joke and I say that the more money people have, the more likely they are to not want to share. And it's not about experiences, but it's about their space. And so we have always seen, say, 2 vanities and 2 toilets. And then a couple years ago, we started to see 2 closets. And now we're seeing dual masters. So 2 totally separate masters in some of these more expensive properties.
Well, that is really interesting. And, just to wrap this thing up, what would you say are the key takeaways for anyone who's a luxury home buyer or seller in the Reno Tahoe area?
Yeah, sure. It's good news, I think. When you look at the buyer, and at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's about the consumer. And we know that this is a consumer who loves real estate. And they love lifestyle. And so if you look at the Reno Tahoe area, what you have is you have lifestyle, you have skiing, you have second homes, you have properties that are all about enjoying nature and getting away. And so I think we feel very bullish about the market in the 3 to 5 year range, and the luxury home buyer is going to continue to flock to places like this. So I think it's good news.
Well, Stephanie, all the way from Austin, but really all around the world, thank you very much for coming in today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.